What did you do during the bye?
That's a great question. I hung out here for a few days, and then I actually got roped into going to California. I went to Disneyland for a day or two, so I got roped in there. It was a lot of fun. This weekend I went on Saturday, and it was fun during the week. Saturday there were so many people there I couldn't even hardly move, so I got overwhelmed pretty quickly and wasn't there very long. But it was a good bye week. It was good to recharge, get your mind off football for a little bit, but I'm happy to be back.
A lot of people recognize you at Disneyland?
Yeah, there was a few, but I had my hood up trying to be a little incognito. I was trying to have fun more so than anything, so it was good.
Is it weird coming back from bye and having just 4 games left?
Yeah, it seems like it's a late bye, the bulk of the season's pretty much over, but there's still a lot that needs to be done. We still got a couple conference games left, and excited for these last 4 games. Obviously, we're on the back end of our season, but, coming off a win in Pittsburgh, have a little momentum, trying to finish this season strong to build into the offseason.
What do you want to see in those last 4 games?
Yeah, I just want to see our team continue to get better. I think we've gotten better the last couple of weeks offensively. We've played well. Obviously, we got a win last 2 weeks ago now, but really just want to continue to get better, continue to grow, continue to develop. Hopefully everyone can keep gelling as an offense. Hopefully the coaches, keep doing their thing. But ultimately, I just want to keep going. Hopefully get a couple wins, going into the offseason, have some momentum going into the offseason.
You mentioned the 2 conference games that you guys have. Knowing how the season has gone and still trying to get that first conference win, do you guys feel like that there's something to prove in a sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we're a tough team. We're hard. We're going to fight every game. And obviously, conference games mean a little bit more. Those are the ones that mean the most. So we're trying to get those ones. Obviously, the 49ers are playing really well right now. Coming into our house, I think it's going to be a great matchup, and I'm excited for this weekend.
I haven't talked to you since, but the touchdown, obviously the one that was overturned, and then Kyler goes right back to you. Can you just take us through those?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how that first one was not called a touchdown. We watched it again today. But obviously, the NFL called it not a touchdown. I'm very thankful that the coaches went back to me the next play. It started pouring rain. The rain was crazy. I had actually, during that huge break when they were reviewing it, I actually had to switch gloves to a rain glove, and, Kyler came back to me that next play. I'm glad we were able to get in there that second time because that was a little frustrating, that first one that didn't get called.
Obviously, they called it that. It looked like a catch. Like, by definition, it looked like
it felt like a catch. I had the ball all the way, once I hit the ground, it was so wet. I kind of squirted out of there. But at the same time, they called what they called. They returned it, overturned it. And, Kyler came back to me that next play. So we ended up getting in the end zone right before half. That was a huge, play for us, huge drive for us. And then we were getting the ball right at a half again. So that was a huge momentum swing in our favor.
You think something clicked on that drive? 15 plays, 99 yards.
I think it was just a mentality. The rain started coming. I think it was just we have to go down and score. We had a 99-yard drive. Everything was kind of clicking. We had a couple plays here, a couple plays there, penalties that kind of helped us, things like that. Everything kind of was flowing. Coaches were calling great plays, things like that. And ultimately, we had a very successful drive going into half, which really had that momentum change.
I know you said that this stage of your career is not the time to think about records.
Yeah.
But does it amaze you that this one record for receptions was set almost 60 years ago?
Yeah, that's remarkable. It's really cool, to be a part of that, to have the opportunity to hopefully break that record. It's very cool. There's been a lot of great tight ends that have played. There's some good ones here, and hopefully we can get those records out of there and start them fresh.
Do you know anything about? Do you know anything that much about Jackie Smith?
Yeah, actually, now that they've brought it up a few times, I started looking into it and things like that. So I looked into him. He was a heck of a player. I think he had like 60 catches and 1,300 yards in one season or something like that. He was averaging like 25 yards a catch or something crazy like that. So he seemed like a heck of a player, explosive, things like that. So obviously it's very cool to be, mentioned with guys like that.
Did you look up to certain tight ends growing up or in college or?
Yeah, absolutely. There was a lot of guys I watched. Obviously, my era was more like, Jimmy Graham, Gronkowski, guys like that. More in college, I watched a lot of Mark Andrews. I love Mark Andrews, the way he plays. George Kittle does a very good job. But there's so many great tight ends out there. TJ Hawkinson's doing it really well right now. So there's a ton of guys that I love watching. But when I was growing up, I loved Gronk, the Tom Brady Gronk. That was so cool to watch. Gronk was awesome. He wore that big old arm brace. It was fun to watch, when I was younger. So there was a ton of guys I watched, but I would say Gronk was probably my guy that I watched the most.
Now that you've taken kind of the next step on the field, how do you feel like your skills match up with kind of the names you mentioned that are playing in today's game?
Yeah, I think, we all do things differently, but I feel like I can, do it with the best of them. I feel like I can catch the ball well. I can run block, well. So, I'd love to, continue to build this and hopefully, have my name in the conversation and some of those guys too.
Going off of that a little bit, JG said that there's still, you've improved a lot, but there's still something left in the tank. What does that look like?
Yeah, I feel like there's still, more that I can do. There's still stuff that I can bring to the table that I haven't done yet. But most of all, I think for me, I just want to be a complete tight end. I want to be able to help in the pass game. Obviously, that's where most of you guys see, but I want to be able to help in the run game too. That's what a true tight end does. They're not a guy that can bring in and just catch balls. I want to be able to, help in the run game. I want to be able to help in the pass game. I want to just help this offense be successful in every way I can, whether that's run blocking, pass blocking, whatever that is. So, I definitely think there's still more. I think I can continue to improve. I've gotten better each and every week, and hopefully that continues to happen, and we'll see how it goes from there.
What's the best part about going to Disneyland as an adult?
I think when you get that fast pass and you don't have to wait in that line, that's by far the best part. So I tried to avoid those lines as much as I could. But it was a good time. It was a good break away from football. I put in 30,000 steps I think each day. That probably wasn't the best part, but other than that, it was a great time.
How much do you think has been the biggest factor in terms of how this last, whatever it is, 6 weeks have gone since Zach got hurt and you just got more opportunity?
I think it's just doing the same thing. I've been consistent. Since I've got here as a rookie, I've been preparing every single week to play. You never know. You're one play away from playing. Last year, that happened. I was able to step right in, get the game plan right away, take over right away. This year, I know every game I was preparing to play. You never know when that time's going to come. So each week I was preparing like I was going to be the starter every single week, whether I was or whether I wasn't. And every single week I prepared, I was doing everything I could to be the best version of me that I could that week. And I think I did that week in, week out, every single week. And when my opportunity finally came, I was able to seize it.
Zach was in that upper echelon of tight ends for a long time.
Yeah.
Some people say he still is. What did you take away from him the most, and what did you learn from him? Basically, working with him every.
Yeah, I spent some time with him. He's a great guy, a guy who's willing to teach, willing to help me out in every aspect that he could. A lot of stuff I took from him was obviously route running stuff. He was a very successful pass catcher in this league for a long time. He's had a great career. So, taking things that, I'd run a route, and then as soon as I'd finish the route, I'd be like, Zach, what did you see there? What would you have done differently? How did you see that coverage? I broke it like this. What would you have done? And he would kind of tell me, this is how I see it. This is what I would have done. And then watching him run routes every day in practice, I would study how he runs routes. And I'm starting to do with some of the stuff he did, the way he runs routes, the way he, turns and comes back to the quarterback, things like that. I would just watch him, and it's successful. He's done it. He's getting the ball, things like that. So I'm like, well, that obviously is working. I'm going to do that as well. And that's kind of what I did. Zach's been great. He's taught me a lot. We had a great relationship, and he was a wonderful teacher for me.
Tyler said he thinks you and him are really, and he's really developing this connection with you. How big has that been since he's been back?
Yeah, it's been great. I think the relationship you have with him, your quarterback, is a huge thing. He's the guy that's throwing me the ball. He's the guy that ultimately me and him are out there doing it. So if we're on the same page, we're going to be all right. So trying to make sure I'm seeing what he's seeing. If I'm running a route, he throws me a ball. I'm like, hey, why did you throw it there? Was that my fault? Was that you? Like, what would you want me to do different? Things like that. And just that communication we have. He's telling me what he sees. I'm doing what I see, and somewhere in the middle we find each other. So it's been a great. He's been wonderful. He's been very helpful, obviously, as I'm learning as well. He's been very, very great, and hopefully that connection continues to build, and we can establish a great relationship and go from there.
After a game this year, you had said a defender couldn't guard you. Are you feeling that more and more often these days?
maybe that's just me, but I you know, sometimes when I'm out there, I feel, you know, unstoppable sometimes. But it was fun. You know, some of those times you just kind of get in a mode and whatever, you know, you just kind of say things like that. But it was a lot of fun. It was, you know, sometimes I feel like that, you know, when Kyler gives me an opportunity, I feel like I can win more often than not. So, you know, he keeps giving me the opportunity to catch balls. I keep doing it for him, and everything will, you know, continue to play out.
Is that part of the expressive person that you are out on the field? I mean, we see you making, you know, gestures and stuff when you get first downs, TDs.
Yeah, I'm just an animated player. I'm an emotional guy. I love this game, and when I'm out there, you know, I make a big play. Sometimes I can't control myself. I just freaking geek out. I don't know what the heck. I just go crazy sometimes. So I don't know what goes on in my head. Sometimes I just start going crazy. Even Kyler's like, dude, you got to chill out. So, you know, he's telling me in the huddle, like, Trey, come on, man, settle down. But I just love having fun, man. And when I'm out there making plays, I energy, you know, that juice. You know, some of the guys tell me how fired up they get seeing me like that. So as long as I can bring other guys with me, get everyone pumped up, that's my main job. You know, I just want to have fun out there, you know, and having fun is making big plays like that.
You've always kind of been that person, but you know, you talked about last year there was like a learning curve. Does life feel different a year later?
Yeah, definitely. You know, that learning curve, obviously I'm still learning. I'm still improving each and every week. But, you know, as you play, the more and more you play, this game kind of slows down for you. It's just like the high school to college jump, the college to the NFL. It's going to be way faster when you get there, but you adjust, you kind of get the game speed down and things like that. So, yeah, I definitely feel more comfortable. I feel more, you know, relaxed out there, like I know what's going on, and I feel comfortable and know that I can win.
You said earlier that you wanted the offense to continue to improve
Yeah.
these last 4 games. I'm curious obviously you were playing with different quarterbacks early. Now Kyler's come back. You guys are trying to get used to this. You have the first year of the offense.
Yeah.
Do you think you guys are going to get through this first year knowing what you need to know about this offense going into the offseason? Will you have enough time with Kyler and just with the pieces that you have to figure out what you need to figure out?
Yeah, I think that's kind of part of it. You know, the last couple of weeks we've been kind of experimenting in kind of what we do well. And I think coaches are kind of figuring out this is what we do well. This is going to be our base. You know, we're going to, every game plan, this run's going to be in, this pass is going to be in. Figure out what we do well and then kind of build our offense off that. And that's kind of what we've done. You know, Kyler's so dynamic. The guy does everything well. You know, he can run the ball. He can throw the ball. He can do this. He can do that. Quarterback run, this, that. So you got to figure out what we do the best and build on that. And I think, you know, Drew and, you know, Coach Gannon, they've done a great job of figuring out what we do well and then building the offense around that. Obviously, you know, scheme and all that stuff comes into it, but I think as a base thing, that's what these last couple of weeks are going to be, you know, figuring out what we do well and building on that.
There was that one where you and Kyler weren't on the same
Yeah.
page. How much time is spent during the week on those little finer points that can make such a difference in a game at times?
Yeah, a lot of it's that's just me and him having that relationship. You know, he wanted me to sit. The route is for me to stay on the move, but Kyler wanted me to sit because of the zone that he saw, and I saw that too. But you know, my routes tell me to run, so he's like, oh, we're kind of in a pickle. But now that we're kind of have that relationship, I kind of know what he's thinking. He kind of knows what I'm thinking, and we're more on the same page. So that just comes with time, playing with each other, things like that, the relationship we have, things like that. So the more and more we play with each other, the more I'm going to know where he's going to put the ball, where I'm going to be sitting, things like that. And I think the longer we play with each other, we'll continue to develop that.
What does mismatch look like to you when you're out there? Like, what do you see and what goes through your head?
You know, truthfully, it just depends. I just kind of see, you know, whoever's guarding me for the most part, and I'm like, can this guy cover me based on the route that I have? Is he inside leverage? I have an outbreaking route, things like that. And when me and Kyler kind of both see that same thing, I kind of know when to expect the ball, when not to expect the ball, things like that. But, you know, I feel like right now, you know, I just feel comfortable out there. I feel like a lot of things are mismatches. I feel like Kyler's trusting me to be in the right place at the right time. And it's not really a mismatch. I just think more so Drew's calling great plays and putting us in position to make plays. And you know, I think we continue to do that, continue to make plays for him, and good things will happen.
Is there ever a time when you ask yourself that question, can this guy defend me based on my route, that the answer is ever yes, he can, or is it always no, he can't?
You know, it's I'd like to think it's always no, he can't. But obviously, you know, if I got an outbreaking route, the guy's 3 or 4 yards outside leverage, it's a little tough to do that. But at the same time, that's when you kind of build that relationship with Kyler. You know, maybe you break him in and then the guy jumps. You know, just little things like that you never know. But I always feel comfortable out there. I feel like Kyler knows when to expect the ball, things like that. But we're building that relationship, and things are going great.
All that blindfolded refs with the jet machine going on.
That's right, yeah.
How judicious do you have to be in deciding whether to try to jump over somebody?
Yeah, that's something that just kind of comes to your mind. I don't really ever think about that either. That's just instinct. A lot of those guys try to tackle me at the ankles, so every once in a while I'll get crazy and jump. But my coach wasn't very happy when I did that last time, so I'll try to stay on my feet more so.